Well, hello there, and yes, another massive game lurks on the horizon. Yeah, Sunday we take on Arsenal at St James's Park, at the Fortress, at the Cathedral, whatever you want to call it. This is Geordieland 1892. All right, so welcome to Geordieland 1892, and obviously, yes, a massive game on Sunday, massive for both clubs. Um, It's a massive game for Arsenal, who are now lying second position after Manchester City just leapfrogged them last night again. And they're going to really want to go out there and give it all. They really need 3 points. And so do we. We need 3 points to progress. And we want to cement that Champions League spot, don't we? We want that back. 20 years since we've been in it, and it would be phenomenal, not only for financial benefits, but obviously for Newcastle United. It gives us that extra draw, extra power to bring in better players to strengthen and deepen the squad, basically. I haven't got anything against the players we've got at the minute. They're fantastic, all of them, and they've done a brilliant job this season. But it would be nice to bring in a few additions to help, like I say, help the squad out and make things a little bit easier playing in the Premier and in the Champions League. Now, Arsenal were flying away with the title, weren't they, earlier in the year? And to be honest, I thought it was nailed on that they were going to win this title. But Man City have bounced back, haven't they? And they've caught them. They've caught them, and now they're sitting on top, and they've also got a game in hand. Where did it all go wrong for Arsenal? Well, that's probably for an Arsenal fan to talk about that one. But where I do see a problem was back in April when they played 3 games and they got 3 draws. And those draws were against like Liverpool, West Ham, and Southampton. And then losing to Manchester City 4-1 there just the other week obviously caused them a lot of problems. And they left the back gate open, didn't they? Really, for Manchester City to swoop in and take their position. Now, obviously, it's going to be a very tough game on Sunday, and I think it's going to be tough for both teams. It is going to be tough for us. We are at home. We do have the 12th man, and I'm pretty sure War Flags, like I say as usual, will be out in force, and the atmosphere hopefully will be like that home game last season when we beat them 2-0. It was really fierce, very hostile. And Arsenal crumbled in that game. They really did. And this is what we've got to try and do again. 12th man. And if we can come out on the pitch like we played in the second half against Southampton last week, then I don't think we've got a problem. That game was quite amazing. I have to say the first half wasn't the best. I was sweating a bit in the first half in that game. But, Anthony Gordon hit the post twice. I thought he did all right. But unbelievably, we found ourselves 1-0 down just before half time. That's Stuart Armstrong, my namesake Armstrong, scoring. He likes to score against Newcastle. So we're 1-0 down at half time. But obviously, Eddie Howe changed things around. He took Gordon off, and Wilson came out for the second half. And basically, Newcastle United came out a different team. I don't think it was just because they brought Wilson in, but I mean, I think Wilson became a massive threat up front obviously. But I just think that Eddie Howe, I don't know what he said to them at half time, but it worked, and Hell's Fire didn't work. That half was unbelievable. We basically unleashed hell on Southampton for 45 minutes. There was just no respite for Southampton. It was just endless. We were just battering them for 45 minutes. That game last Sunday, I saw Newcastle United move up gears I didn't know we had. I thought the fire, the ferocity, the aggression in the game, and jaw-dropping skill, basically, at times. We were like an unstoppable juggernaut. And, Callum Wilson got his just rewards. He got 2 goals. One was obviously offside. It was debatable for quite a while, about 2 minutes and 40 seconds, to be fair, for VAR to work that one out. It was difficult, to be fair. But it was an own goal there. Theo Walcott scoring, he's putting through his own net. But Newcastle came out of that 3-1 winners, and rightly and deservedly so in that second half. Like I say, they were formidable. And if we can play like that from the start of the game against Arsenal, and we have absolutely nothing to fear. Now, there is a part of me that keeps kind of thinking this kind of game of this stature, this size, there is a tiny part of me that keeps, something in my head anyway, keeps telling me it's going to be a draw. But there's a side of me would like to believe that we can beat them. And, I tell you what, I'm going to go with it. I think we're going to beat them 2-1. I think we're going to beat them 2-1. I hope I haven't jinxed anything there. Now, our last 5 meetings against the Gunners hasn't all gone our way, but recently it has. In the last 5 meetings, they have won 3 times. Of course, last season, like I mentioned before, that home game at St James's Park, when we beat them 2-0, we did outclass them. And of course, this season, I think it was back in November, we did get a 0-0 draw. It was a hard-fought 0-0 draw as well. I think that was where it all started, when they started talking about us time wasting for some reason. And that's a bit annoying, because most teams, when they are a little bit under the cosh, they play in a different way. And look, it's part of the game, isn't it? Now, Arsenal did beat Chelsea on Tuesday night. They beat them 3-1. They wiped them aside. Chelsea not the greatest this season, to be fair. But at the end of the day, it is a derby, and, Arsenal got the points. But unfortunately for Arsenal, Man City won last night, didn't they? And they beat West Ham 3-0. And incidentally, Haaland broke the record, didn't he? It was on the cards. It was going to happen. And he did. He broke the record for the most goals in a single season. And he did beat Alan Shearer and Andy Cole, who shared that jointly on 34. But Haaland has made it 35. He's a bit of an animal, he's a bit of a monster, isn't he? But what a goal scorer. But obviously Arsenal are going to be really fighting for those 3 points. And like I say, as are we, because it's just as important to us. I think it would seem that from what Miguel Arteta says, that basically Saliba is not going to be available on Sunday. I believe that he still has a back problem. He did get injured back in March. And to be honest, since he got injured, Arsenal haven't been the same, to be fair. He did get an injury. It was in the Europa League against Sporting Lisbon, I believe. And he hasn't been back since. And I think they've missed him. On the Newcastle side of things, it seems like everybody's come out of last week pretty fit. Of course, there are concerns about Sean Longstaff, and maybe Alan Saint-Maximin might be back. He might be. He might be. He might be fit enough to play on Sunday. Now, that's not to say, I'm just referring back to Longstaff, that's not to say that he's been ruled out. I think he's about 25% fit at this moment in time, but we've still got quite a few days to go before the game, so you never know. He could be there for selection. But to be fair, if it was me, I would play the same team as we played in the second half last week against Southampton. I'd start with that team. I thought it was just blistering. And I think that teaming up with Isaac and Wilson is unbelievable. I think those two playing together is phenomenal. I really do. Especially when you've got Bruno in there. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I would stick with that for Sunday's game. Obviously, I am doing this video a little bit early, so a lot could change between now and Sunday. But to be honest, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the Arsenal game. I have heard some transfer news. Of course, it's all hearsay at this moment in time. I mean, we haven't even finished the season yet. But I have heard that Newcastle have been inquiring about Rafinha, who is now at Barcelona. They're talking about an 80 million quid deal there. The thing that I did hear that has more legs on it for me was I was reading in the Gazzetta dello Sport here in Italy that Denzel Dumfries could be looking for a new club, and he's quite keen on coming to Newcastle. He says that it suits him to go there, and I think it's because Inter Milan are requiring funds. I think they need money, and I think that's the only reason they're willing to sell him, because they need to get some coffers in the pot. Obviously, I did read something in the Gazzetta about that. It's kind of still hearsay though, really. It does actually say that he's interested in going to the Premier League, but he has said that he could quite fancy going to Newcastle. Obviously, if we get Champions League, I can understand why. And then I heard this other report last night that apparently Jurgen Klopp is out to get Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle United, and he wants to pay around about 88 million quid for him. He really wants him to join Liverpool this year. I just can't see it, man. You're blowing your trumpet, man. We're in a better position than you lot at the moment. But just things that are coming out. Obviously, to be honest, Newcastle, even when the transfer window ends, there are channels on YouTube that just constantly talk about who we're going to buy for like months on end when we can't buy anybody. But as we are coming to the end of the season, some of these stories, they're interesting. But to be honest, until the actual transfer window opens, I would take them all with a pinch of salt. I did hear that Cristiano Ronaldo could be going to make a return away from Al Nassr. Apparently, he's not very happy there. He has scored 12 goals for them, but apparently he's not content playing in Saudi Arabia. And apparently, obviously, because we are owned by Saudi Arabian owners and he's playing at a Saudi Arabian club, it's come back on the radar that Cristiano Ronaldo is going to come to Newcastle United. Well, I hope he doesn't. I don't want him anywhere near the club. I've said it before. And I think that is just all codswallop, basically. Just rubbish. I can see why they've linked the two. The Saudi Arabian owner plays for a Saudi Arabian team. I think it's just utter tripe, to be fair. So just gonna dismiss that one really, but I thought it was quite funny to mention on here. Listen, everybody, enjoy the game on Sunday. Like I say, I'm hoping for a 2-1 Newcastle win. Any win really. I'll take anything. But, we've been quite good in the last few games. I say that just as a bit of a joke, quite good. We've been amazing. We're a juggernaut. Scoring 6 against Tottenham there was wonderful, wasn't it? Scoring 4 against Everton. And hitting 3 past Southampton. We've conceded 3 goals in those games. Listen, like I say, more of the same. And we really are, believe that we can do this on Sunday because we are the juggernaut at the moment, 3rd place. And who knows, who knows? We could, if we keep winning this season, we could end up in 2nd. You never know. Bit far-fetched, maybe. But you've always got to believe, haven't you? Listen, all the best from me, keeper, on Geordieland 1892. And I probably will have a little chat with Shaw, who's an Arsenal supporter, and I'll put that one up on here as well before the big kick-off on Sunday. So thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, remember to like, and all the best to you.